here we are, guys. A video from this Sunday's Campbellville crit. Even before the start, we were off to a frustrating day as a bit of a mechanical put a damper on things. A couple mistakes at the start here. First, I was lined up a little too far back, followed by the traditional missing of the pedals. Slow clipping in meant I was chasing from the get-go. We were full gas right out the gate with some of the teams looking to string things out. So it was tough chasing back on, particularly some of the road conditions that were on the circuit. Once I did catch back on with the group, I made the mistake of staying at the back rather than moving up. Keeping yourself in good position is important in a crit, as if you're hanging out at the back, you have to chase harder out of every corner and you run the risk of getting caught behind a crash. And it was not long into the race when the first crash happened. It was about the third lap. As you can see coming up here, after we go through the chicane and going into the hairpin, there was a couple riders down, which caused the back half of the group to slow down to go through the corner in order to avoid the riders. As a result, the group, the main pack, experienced its first split here as the rest of the peloton continued to just jam it hard. So a small group formed off the back of the main race. We were hoping we could all work together to stay ahead of the main pack, not get lapped, and stay in the race to the finish. There was a couple members from the Waterloo Cycling Club, and I think a bunch of us had the thought that these guys would be able to ride well together and keep things going. Unfortunately, they did not, and only a couple of them did some work, and it soon became clear that they weren't going fast enough as the main pack was just constantly pulling us back in. There were a couple riders in our group with some questionable bike handling skills, so I didn't make the same mistake again, and I made sure I stayed near the front of our small group. The course in Campbellville was a bit of a mixed bag. There was a pretty fun technical section that had some very good pavement through it, a nice little chicane, and a challenging hairpin that we saw a couple crashes through. I even clipped a pedal going through it, but was able to thankfully keep everything rubber side down. But unfortunately, the rest of the course was kind of just big sweeping corners, not very challenging, and the pavement was terrible. It was probably closer to cobblestones than actual pavement. Also, some of the organization was pretty bad, as our race was delayed by 30 minutes as they worked to get the course safe and rideable. If our group had cooperated a little more together, maybe got things rotating a bit, we might have stood a better chance out there, but I think everybody expected the one team to do all the work. But we should have realized sooner that that really wasn't going to happen. Fortunately, by the time we did, it was too late. As the inevitable catch seemed to draw near, I decided to try to up the pace in our group a bit in a last-ditch effort to stay alive in the race. Unfortunately, when I accelerated, no one else followed. So then rather than just burning myself out in the wind for a couple laps and just ending up back in the same position where I was, just more tired, I sat up, admitted defeat, and kind of just waved the rest of the group through. It wasn't much longer left for us as the main peloton was quickly drawing in. They were still on the gas, fully strung out throughout the whole course. Despite the best efforts of our group, we were pulled from the race at about the half-hour mark. The catch was going to happen, if not on that lap, it would be the next. In order to keep things safe, the race officials pulled us out before we were caught by the main peloton. So it was another frustrating day of racing. Yet another DNF at an O Cup event. It's real unfortunate because I felt like I had the legs to be able to ride with these guys, but a couple bad mistakes in regards to my positioning at the start of the race resulted in me getting caught out by that split in that early crash, and in the end, yet another DNF. Getting some more stuff to work on before the next race, which is in a couple weeks. The next event coming up is the Tour de Terracotta, which I have some very fond memories of from last year. So I'm really looking forward to that one, hopefully repeating on my podium performance from last time.